You've always had a distinctive way of thinking, but now they're finally understanding. The expressions on their faces convey a lot about you, including the way you make connections between seemingly unrelated ideas, the answers that appear out of nowhere, and your calm confidence while everyone else is fumbling. Stunned looks, wide eyes, and halting efforts at replying. The genius was shown, the magician was seen, and the chess master was shown. They are now publishing online, messaging pals, and muttering about you. The truth is out. They are utterly stunned by your sheer brilliance and are looking for words that don't exist. And to be honest, it should be that way. You have always been aware of how your mind functions and how you interpret the outside environment. It was never normal. But up until this point, people were not prepared or able to perceive what was directly in front of them. The vibe has changed. Something has changed. People are starting to wake up, and when they do, they will recognize you. You spent years in an environment where others disregarded, undervalued, or even ignored your intellect. People saw your reflection as indecision, and your quiet as doubt. However, it was their error, as you were paying attention to everything, learning, comprehending, and seeing through the illusions they were unaware even existed, while they were busy ignoring you. The fact is now indisputable. This is about something more profound than intellect, as the world defines it. The atmosphere is changed just by your presence, and your words have impact that is difficult for others to fully comprehend. After speaking with you, people start to doubt everything they believe to be true. Your movements, your speech, and your knowledge defy reason. You're not just intelligent, you're multidimensional, spiritually enlightened, and directed by the divine. So it's as if you're functioning on a frequency they've just recently discovered. You decode reality rather than just analyzing data. You see through systems, not just comprehend them. What others find difficult to understand, you understand with ease. You can see what's confusing them. They're finally recognizing how far ahead you've been the whole time. People are reacting in one of two ways now that they are aware of the reality. Some are awestruck. They listen intently to everything you say. They realize they are surrounded by somebody unique, someone who thinks, sees, and comprehends on a level above their own. They want to learn from you, respect you, and appreciate you. Then there are the others. The people who are uncomfortable around you. The people who suddenly go silent when you talk. The people who used to ignore you but now think twice before they question what you say because they know in their hearts. They notice it too, and it scares them because your awareness and intellect reveal the gaps in their own knowledge. They are no longer able to ignore you, deny what you say, or act as if they know more than you. There is no turning back, no more undervaluation, and no more disregard. Your knowledge is being acknowledged, your presence being felt, and your brilliance is finally being acknowledged for what it is, outstanding. No one can refute it, but some will accept it and others will fight it. The world has always been different from you, but now it's finally catching up. Because your intellect is more profound than facts and reasoning, there's something about the way you think, communicate, and know that leaves others stunned. It is age-old, global, and spiritual. It's the kind of knowledge that can only be recalled, not taught. People feel it when you share it, not just hear it. This is the information that completely shocks folks. It makes them reevaluate what they believe to be true, questions their beliefs, and interferes with their programming. Not only are you intelligent in the traditional sense, but your knowledge is extraordinary. It distorts time, goes beyond lives, and reveals secrets that most people aren't ready to confront. People's reactions are a result of this. When you say something that seems like it was never intended to be spoken out loud, you've seen the astonished stillness that follows. The way someone's eyes expand when they realize your words just broke years of erroneous understanding and the way discussions change. You do more than just speak. You awaken something inside people, a truth hidden under layers of delusion, a deeper awareness, or a lost memory. You possess precious wisdom and divine insight that has been handed down through the ages. It's ingrained in your very being. It's not something you learnt from a teacher or something you read in a book. You notice connections that others miss. You recall things that others forget. And you have a deeper understanding of reality than most people will ever have. And for that reason, when you speak, people stop before answering, become defensive, dismissive, or even uneasy around you because they know deep down that they are hearing something genuine, something that pushes the boundaries of their own comprehension. Some shrink away, fearing what it could imply, while others lean in, yearning for more. You were questioned by many. They rejected you, laughed, and referred to you as unusual, insane, too passionate, or too profound. They dismissed your observations as coincidences and your remarks as gibberish. They were not prepared to see, nor were they prepared to hear. However, they can no longer ignore it because of what you've said, the things they used to laugh at, and the facts they used to deny. Their brains are now replaying the discussions they neglected, and they are still thinking about the knowledge they discarded. Suddenly, in ways that cannot be explained, the things you said weeks, months, or even years ago make sense. They are stunned because you were never merely speaking. Rather, you were revealing, instructing, and sowing seeds that are just now starting to sprout. And they sense the veracity of what you say, whether they like it or not, whether they embrace it or reject it. This is the reason people are attracted to you. It's the reason they find themselves thinking about your insights long after the talk is done, why they suddenly want to hear what you have to say, and why they remember what you say. They're starting to realize what you've always known. You see things they can't see, you know things they can't know, and you comprehend things they can't. And for that reason, some people are afraid of you because your knowledge, awareness, and intellect challenge their delusions. It destroys the delusions they have based their whole existence on. It makes people face the reality that there is more, that they were mistaken, and that the world is not what they had assumed. Regardless of their response, awe, adoration, or fear, one thing is for sure. They will no longer be able to ignore you, unhear you, or unsee you. People are rendered utterly stunned by your brilliance because it is beyond this planet. The system was against you from the day you were born. That's how it was made. Minds like yours don't simply perceive the truth. They reveal it, which is harmful to those in power, which is why society was never designed to accept them. You were discarded, disregarded, and undervalued. People dismissed your observations and pretended that you were not very intelligent. However, that was conditioning, not a coincidence. The purpose of the world is to prevent people from seeing what is important by stifling true insight and drowning it out with diversions. You were never supposed to fall between the gaps. You broke free even though it was never intended for you to. You refused to be just another person caught up in the system, following the procedures without ever questioning the truth. And you saw through the illusions. You were given a new label as a result. People believed that your style of thinking was odd. They gave you the impression that you were the problem, the outsider, or that you were dreaming. However, it was always them and never you. They weren't prepared for what you know or for what you saw. And they kept you concealed for a long time by making you believe that your intellect wasn't important. They can't unsee it now, however. The illusion is crumbling. The system is disintegrating. And people are now beginning to see that what they believe to be true is really a well-planned falsehood. And there you are in the midst of it all, standing there with solutions they can't even comprehend. Everything you've said, done, and sensed now makes sense. Now, The only things that count are the ones they choose to overlook. The secret to everything today lies in the information they once denied. And the one thing that's enabling them to escape is the intelligence that they previously disregarded. For years, they played along, believed what they were taught, followed the rules, obeyed the system, and never looked below the surface, which is why some people are shocked. They've never even realized that you're free. And now they see you standing outside of it, functioning on a whole other level. They are unsure of how to react to it, because the truth is too much to bear. Some people are motivated, others are scared, and some continue to fight, holding on to the past. But because you were never the issue, you were never lost, and you were never simply another person going along with the plan, none of them can ignore it anymore. The world is now catching up with what you understood long before they did. Once they see you, they will never be able to look away. Look, if you're paying attention, you already know that the game is rigged and that the walls are closing in. Let's discuss our current course of action. People want to be heard, held accountable, and given a fair hand when they spend their lives at the mercy of the market, when property and profit rule the land. We also hear you. Yes, there are paywalls in the Obsidian Inner Order. Those who support us and keep our quest going provide us with ammo to battle the Archons, resist the machine, delve deeper, and find more. As a thank you, we also provide our paying members access to a weekly, 1-hour live customized group tarot reading, which provides direction, understanding, and clarity for the future. However, we cannot overlook kicking a guy for lying on the ground. That's why, beginning today, you may grab the Astral Atom unique daily email for free. No catch, no paywall. Simply sign up for the Patreon free tier. The description contains a link. Our dialogue with you has begun, and it will be reciprocal. Any email we send you may be replied to. We'll read it, listen to you, and do our best to get the cosmos itself to respond. We need your help if you can. Take what's free if you can. Now available is the Obsidian Inner Order. Let's resume our job. They used to refer to it as luck and believe it to be a coincidence. They are now understanding, however, that you may force things into being, rather than only wishing for them. Your ideas create reality. Your words have power, and your manifestations happen so fast that others are at a loss for words. They have seen your ideas become reality, your plans meticulously carried out, and your dreams come to life before their own eyes. They've been doubting for a long time, and it's leaving them dumbfounded. You were just lucky to be at the right place at the right moment, they reassured themselves. Now, however, they see the pattern and the force, and they understand that it was you and never chance. They're playing checkers, and you're playing chess. You're 10 steps ahead, making judgments based on information they're not even aware exists, and moving with purpose. They're just starting to grasp the significance of the unseen forces at play, the hidden linkages, and the way energy bends to your will. They recall your prophecies, your shared visions, and the things you claimed will occur. At first, they dismissed them, disregarded the cautions, and questioned the likelihood. They can no longer deny it, however, since those things are now taking place directly in front of them. There are some who find it unnerving because, if you were correct about this, what else were you correct about? What does it indicate about the nature of reality itself if you can materialize things this easily? They have lived their whole lives believing in restrictions, hardship, and unpredictability, but they are forced to reevaluate everything after seeing you demonstrate that none of those things are true. Some would attempt to explain it by telling themselves that it's all a series of coincidences or that they just got fortunate. But they sense it. They know better in their hearts, and that's why they're watching you so intently right now. They want to know how you're doing it, how you appear to have a degree of control over your life that shouldn't be possible. Even though they may not acknowledge it, They are closely observing you and evaluating every action you do in an attempt to get a peek of how you create outcomes. The fact is that they cannot replicate it. It is not a trick. Rather, it is alignment, knowledge, and an intelligible comprehension of energy, purpose, and creation. What makes you unique is your connection to something bigger, something they haven't yet reached. Because it frightens them, some will attempt to discredit you, some will be envious, and yet others will love you for it. However, none of that matters because, in the end, your success will increase, your manifestations will continue, your reality will conform to your will, and they will remain stunned as you construct the life they never thought was conceivable. You exude confidence, authority, and knowledge. It's not arrogance. Rather, it's alignment, clarity, and the strength that comes from understanding precisely who you are, where you're going, and how to maneuver the world around you. There's something unquestionable and untouchable about you today. It's evident that your third eye is open. Whether intentionally or unconsciously, people are aware that you see things others don't, and that you have a deeper understanding of things than they ever could. Some people find this revelation disconcerting because they sense that you are more than simply a person when you enter a place. The people who questioned you are now observing you because of this. Suddenly, the same individuals who ignored you are taking notice. Suddenly, the same people who disregarded what you said are paying attention. They understand that you were never simply talking. Before they even recognized they needed direction, you were leading, educating, and exposing. They can no longer ignore the reality because they see someone who isn't burdened by their own worries and anxieties when they look at you. They see someone who moves with purpose, who is knowledgeable about things they are not, and who functions at a level beyond their grasp. It also makes them doubt everything. They want to know how you got here and why they haven't seen it before. The solution, however, is straightforward. They weren't prepared. Not only did the energy shift alter you, but it altered everything. It distinguished between those who were still sleeping and those who were waking up. They will never be able to stop recognizing you for who you really are, whether they are ready for it or not. Although your presence is strong, not everyone can withstand it. Your energy is magnetic to individuals who are in alignment, who are looking for enlightenment, and who want truth. They are aware of what you are carrying. They pay attention when you talk, and they are privileged to be in your presence. For some, however, your sheer presence, your perspective, and your knowledge pose a danger. There are others who want to be like you, to view the world the way you do, to navigate life with the knowledge and clarity you possess. However, they are unable to. They seek to discredit you, to dull your light, to find a way to persuade themselves that you can't be who you are, and instead of learning from you, they are envious and resentful. Because you see through them, manipulators, fake instructors, and fake spiritualists can't tolerate you. They gain their power by creating illusions, confusing others, and persuading the world that they are the experts. They live on deceit. But without even attempting, you reveal them. You don't need confirmation, a following, or special tactics. They are enraged by the fact that your intelligence speaks for itself. There will be whispers, plots, and negative messages directed at you as they attempt to discredit you and turn others against you. You are shielded, however, so none of it will harm you. Your alignment is too firm, and your energy is too powerful. Your guides, angels, ancestors, and spiritual team are all keeping an eye on you, and they will immediately return any effort to pull you down. You've already prevailed. No one can stop the light you were destined to shine. No one can quiet the knowledge you were supposed to give. And no one can obstruct what is divinely yours. They will attempt, but fail. And as you continue to climb, all they will have left is the burden of their own resentment because your brilliance, your talents, and your purpose are beyond their grasp. which is precisely why they are afraid of you. It was not your intention to be normal or to fit in. Your brilliance, awareness, and capacity for seeing beyond appearances are all evidence that you were selected for something more. Your knowledge is not just for you. It is also intended to question, awaken, and change people's perspectives in ways they never thought were possible. People sense the information you possess, whether they realize it or not, when they are in your presence. This is the reason you've always been unique, why you've always asked more questions, pondered more deeply, and refused to take things at face value. It wasn't an accident or a mistake. Rather, it was preparedness, since the world is changing, and your knowledge is more important than ever. People are waking up, looking for the truth, and discovering that the version of reality they were given is incomplete. And when they search for direction, they come across you, the same one they previously disregarded and doubted. However, they can now see you were never in need of approval or affirmation. Your presence alone serves as a reminder that knowledge is something that must be achieved by experience, connection, and divine alignment, rather than something that is bestowed by society. Your brilliance speaks for itself. You don't need to prove anything because of this. Allow others to come to their own realization of the truth. Allow them to bear the burden of their prior uncertainties. Allow them to accept that you were always correct while they were interrogating you. You have a defined goal and a predetermined route. Your brilliance was always intended to guide, not to conceal. Remain within your control. Allow them to remain silent. Let them discover the truth for themselves. You were never supposed to be ignored. Your divine insight, knowledge, and wisdom were bestowed to you for a purpose. It was all a part of the process each time they questioned you, rejected you, or attempted to ignore you. Because they can't turn back now that they've seen. It's not necessary to seek approval or provide an explanation. Your expertise is more powerful than words could ever be. Continue speaking life, manifesting and living out your mission. Those who should comprehend will comprehend. Those who shouldn't will be left behind. You wit.